The Bible talks about Job being an upright man. Yeah, let's talk about Job for a second, because I want to clear something up about him. That sometimes we think when we read it the first couple of times, we say, oh yeah, Job's sin was pride. And this is for those who read it a little bit. Not those who barely glanced at it, but those who looked into it a couple of times. They might have seen where in the confrontation where the Lord was answering Job, it seemed like the Lord was making it seem as if Job was being very prideful. And then he goes to describe this monster called Behemoth, who has these scales that cannot be broken into, and his scales are his pride. But Job lets you know what his sin was in the very beginning, the moment he loses everything. See, this is why Satan had that particular test for him. Said, oh yeah, if you take everything that he has, if you take his health, if you take his things, then he'll curse you. Yeah, Satan was wrong, but Job's sin wasn't pride, as we might think. No, it said that Job was a righteous man, an upright man. So he couldn't be righteous and arrogant at the same time as a person. That would be contradictory. So what it was at the moment that Job lost everything, he said, oh no, finally, the thing that I feared the most has overtaken me. So everything that he was doing, his righteous life, his deeds, his accomplishments, his positive influence on his community, his religion, his faith, his folk, there was this nagging fear of losing it all. And he was just afraid to lose it all. This was a big part of his energy. So he ended up attracting that because he placed his energy on that. So law of attraction was working even back then. We like to say, oh yeah, the devil made that happen. Satan made that happen. Job was already afraid to lose everything as he was acquiring everything. That was his Satan. So it manifested itself as Satan going throughout the heavens. And this is why, him and the Most High, or him and God, Yahweh, or the Jehovah at the time, or the Yahweh at the time being Jehovah, the designated Elohim over this demiurge, they wasn't at war. It wasn't at that point that the Archangel Michael came back and said, oh yeah, you ready for round two? You ready? You know what I mean? They wasn't fighting. So Satan was playing a role. He was playing the role of Job's fear. This is what Job's fear was manifesting itself as on a higher level. And this is conjecture. You don't have to say that this is right. I'm not saying that this is right. I just think that it's an interesting take on it, because it looks like this is what Job was saying. And based on how the book turns out, this looks like how Job didn't curse the Lord in the end. He might have cursed the day of his own birth and hated the fact that he existed to get it all, only to lose it all. But still, in none of this, even when his wife was like, man, won't you just curse him and get it over with and die already? Not even then did he curse him. So Job ended up with double what he lost. That's not going to be the reward for an arrogant person who's in the arrogant, conceited pride. No, not. He was timid. There was an inside fear. So he wasn't comfortable. Remember, he was making all of these sacrifices for his kids, hoping that they wouldn't fall into sin. And fearfully, every day he would make these sacrifices every morning, even though his example was enough to lead them in the right direction. He was already an upright man, mission accomplished. But the fear of losing it all caused unnecessary steps. When you already got the goal, you still think there's more games to play when you already won the championship. And you end up injuring yourself, because you're still going on even after you have the trophy, because now you're afraid that you're going to lose the trophy. You feel like, okay, king of the mountain, now I got to hold my position as king of the mountain. But no, your mountain is yours. No one else is designed to even climb it, let alone overthrow you from it. So again, Job's sin was not pride, meaning arrogance, but it was fear of loss. And it's not wrong to fear losing everything. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with thinking about the fear of losing it over and over again. where that becomes the dominant thought, because then that's what you'll attract, and it will manifest itself as Satan going up and down in the higher realms. You know, and all of that is just a whole nother level of understanding if you're looking at it that way. Like, that was what Job was manifesting himself as on the higher levels. The antithetical nature was saying, if I lose all this, God, I won't trust you. That was like what Job was saying in his heart. So he was afraid to lose everything. If I lose everything that you blessed me with, I probably won't follow you anymore. So it manifests itself as Satan saying, if you touch his health. But Job was really saying, if you touch my health, I might not be faithful. I'm afraid that I might not stick. I might not stay. Super T Sigma, Sigma program, and stay motivated, self-regulated. Peace.